Yep. Cool. Yes, hello. I just quickly wanted to show you our curriculum for Hack Your Future. Have you seen this page before? Can you see this?
Yeah.
Okay, it's also the ones in the back.
Is it GitHub?
It's a little
It's
bit
a
bright,
bit
but I can see it.
Yeah, I don't know. Something changes
Yes.
here, and I don't know.
We can just.
But also, okay, I guess this is fine.
And do you want that?
I think it's,
You should bring it down a little bit.
but then.
If we turn up the lights, maybe.
Yeah.
I think you can adjust the height from.
Yeah, I'm not sure they work. That's the problem.
But this is too much.
Not so. What the projector by.
Oh.
Oh, that was maybe a good idea.
Okay.
Oh, now no one can see.
Tech people.
I was ready.
Okay. Yes. Perfect. Nice.
Looks good. Yeah, it's fine. Right? Everything on
Anyways, this is our page for where we have all the curriculum. So here you can see what we teach in React, you can see what we teach in HTML and CSS, what we teach in JavaScript, and there's some different, these are called repositories. But if you want to know what was taught to you guys in HTML, then you can go to the Hack Your Future /kbh/html, and then in this button you can choose the Class 7. And if you click here, I'll post this link in your Slack channel so you can find it a bit easier. If you click here, you can see just a short introduction to your course, and apart from that you can go into every week, and then you can see in this main page the learning goals. So after this class, for example today, we expect you guys to be able to do these things: Flexbox, browser support, prefixes, animations. If you want to know what the homework was, then you can click on the homework, and here we have the homework. If you want to know what you're supposed to prepare for this class, you can click on preparation. So this is just a way for you guys to have a central place for everything you learned. So for example, in maybe 3 months when you're doing some node class and you suddenly need to remember, how was it we learned Flex, or what was it we were supposed to learn in the second week of JavaScript? Well, you can just come in here and you can take a look at the learning goals, and also if you have anything from the class, or if Alicia has something to share, something like that, it can be found here under material. Yes, and that's kind of how it's going to work also with JavaScript and all these, where you have for every class learning goals, preparation, and homework. Yes, that was it for me.
But here you just see the classics. And the
Yes.
If you click on master and then class 7. Oh.
Yes.
I mean, that tutorial was also recorded now, right?
Yes, we are recording right now.
Yeah, I
Yes.
forgot to record the last 2 sessions, but this one is being recorded.
I mean, almost everyone was there the whole time anyway, so
Yeah.
no recording needed.
So let's talk about the homework. How did it go with the homework? Was it difficult? Yeah? Did you? So we got 7 homeworks for this class. So that means we're missing a bunch of homeworks. homeworks, and I want to know if it's because you did it but you didn't send the link, or you were stuck halfway, or you didn't know where to start, or so. Yeah. What was the issue? What was your main issue with the homework? I'd like to know, like, so that we can share with everyone. You all did it, so you all went through the same process. What did you think was too difficult? Yep.
For me, I sent it to you yesterday, and I've done it in pen, but just because I have like a personal issue which was moving the last week.
Right.
But for me, I've done it in 2 hours, and it wasn't that good at all. But at least I could like float and
Yeah.
row. That's it. But I didn't have much time to
Yeah.
make it look more like.
Yeah, that's fine. I think the purpose of it was that you learn how to do the grid. It didn't have to look beautiful, but it was just so you could understand how you work differently with floats and with flexbox. And also, I mean, this was also a challenge because we were supposed to talk about media queries last week and we didn't have enough time to do it. So you kind of had to figure it out on your own.
Yeah, I didn't.
Well, figure out what?
How to use the media queries, like the responsive.
Yeah, I have a question about that.
Yeah? Go ahead.
I have sent, the homework, but the problem is that when I made the code,
Yeah.
and I tried to open it in Internet Edge,
Yeah.
it size, okay, when I try to move it, okay, and when I open it with Google Chrome, it doesn't.
Right. We're going to talk a little bit about that today.
Change the code.
But it worked perfectly on Edge. Just because the reason that I wanna try to to open the link of the GitHub to see the web page.
Yeah.
I open it on Google Chrome.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it looked
doesn't work
different.
on Google Chrome. When I open it from Atom, and it directly link me on Internet Edge, it worked.
Okay.
So anyway, if I try to refresh it on my phone, it doesn't work because the GitHub is on Google Chrome.
Okay, that's interesting. We'll have a talk about that, and because we're going to talk a little bit about browsers today. But I would love to go through one of the homeworks, and I picked this randomly. And so this is yeah. So Hagash.
Okay,
Yeah. So, would you please talk about your homework? Like, what was your process? How do you do it? And
yeah, for sure. Should stand up over there? Or?
you can do it from your place if you want.
But first of all, I didn't think about media queries, so I just focused on how to do it in my screen.
Yeah.
Okay. So the first thing I tried to do is floating the first grid.
Right.
So what I did, because despite the reason that we have three kind of classes. So we have the first class where we got the container of the float, the other classes that are items, and we have it in both float and flexbus, and the container of the flexbus. So what I did is to set up the container of floats, first of all, okay. So I did the coding, how to make it display, to make it float all the items inside to the left.
So that's this
Over
one,
there?
right?
No. Up. Yeah. Okay. The first one. I start to trying to center everything, inside the container float. Okay. And then you say overflow hidden is the two ways how to stop the clear fix that we was talking about. Probably we didn't talk about overflow, but I was looking around, because despite the reason when I did the overflow, the clear both doing the NTH child on the second container of the flexbox, it gave me some problems. I don't know why. I tried to figure out how to do it, and then I said I have to figure out another way how to do it, and I found overflow hidden. Overflow is the scroll, the tab, how to call it. And hidden means that you don't see it. So this one stop you the flow of the containers. So I did overflow hidden on the container, to separate it from the flexbox container, because if I don't, the flexbox container come to the left as well. Then I went to the list of the grid flows. So you see I address the link on the grid flow. So I did the, how to say, the CSS selector work.
Yes, this is all of the
Yeah, I upload
elements.
all the items on the left, and then I set up a background on the list. Then I did. Oh yeah, that two parts are because in the first step it said to there are some images that make it probably are more important, and I figure out that some images have background white. So I said probably are the most important. I don't know. I just figured out that I did it. So the first one is it takes you all the odd items inside of the container, because are the first one from 1 till 8. Okay, are all odd. So
Yeah, this is a tricky selector.
huh?
Yeah, this is a tricky selector. So
Yeah.
all of the odd elements
Before 8.
before 8.
Before 8. And then all the even elements after 8. So are 14 elements. So I did from the 8 number till the 14. So after that are all even.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you come over the hover start, so I did to make it, I don't know. I will try to figure out how to make it. And then I made the general item context that means that both of the containers, Flexbox and closed, have the same thing. So in this the general item context, I set up the list. Okay, for an example to justify the content. The space around them. As you, if anybody did the frog Flexbox, okay, there is that content that make you the space between the items, a little bit of space, from the margin.
Mhm.
And then I set up everything, made some border on the item. Then I took off the listed style type.
Just a quick question. It may be that you just missed it, but how do
Yeah,
you
I don't know why. I just when I tried to do that, I forgot.
Yeah,
to put
yeah,
it.
yeah, okay.
And then I select for the first, for the screen, only the first.
Do you
One.
remember we saw another way to target the number 1 element? That was, it's a pseudo selector. Do you remember what that was? Yeah, you can do first child. So just instead of n child 1, what is
Just
it?
right.
Just li colon first child, and it will target. It's the same thing. It works
okay.
the same.
Yeah, and this is the problem. You see, it's 49. It sounds strange because the container, I tried to set it up 100%. Okay, and that means that I should make the calc function, to take off the border. So despite the reason, if I don't make the margin, it looks, a mess. Doesn't look good. So I try to make 50% on the first one and 25 for the other two, and it doesn't work. Okay, I don't know why, because I try to make a calc. And I tried a little bit, and sometimes it works, and I don't know what happened. And then I say snap. I will leave 49.
Sorry.
I
Maybe.
think it doesn't work when it's like if you're like saying the first way this, if it's going to be 50% and the other two 25%. I think it doesn't work because you have margin around it.
Yeah,
So it also takes space. Is it right?
Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
Yeah, I try to make some calculation. I go to expect element and I calculate how much is the border, how much is it, and I didn't understand how I can do that. And it looks strange because I don't know.
Can you go up? Go up. Yes. What? No.
Does it work?
No.
Is there a question?
Maybe another.
No. I just want to understand what happens here. Okay.
Okay, let's continue. Yep. Yes.
Yeah, this one's did you upload the pictures?
What is that?
Did we upload the pictures? Did
Yeah,
we have
I
to?
did.
Oh,
You can see.
okay. How did you do this without changing the HTML, did you upload it as a background cover?
Which the
The
drone
pictures?
picture?
Yeah.
No. They was already in the list. So I just with them,
No,
make.
But you mean like the links were not working for you? For the images?
No, it was just written like drone 1, drone 2.
No, because you have to
Download
drag
the
the image folder inside the atom. So you don't see
I
them?
didn't.
You don't see them?
No, I saw them, but I couldn't. I thought maybe I'll download them and then I will upload them on the web page. So and then I remembered, no, we are not allowed to change the HTML.
Right.
Or probably you didn't rename because I was main CSS, style CSS.
Yeah.
I wasn't main CSS.
Yeah. Maybe that's no, I don't remember. It was
Usually
like,
we use main CSS and that one was style CSS. I don't know.
no.
And so this was supposed to. This is what it was supposed to look like in.
It should be. I mean, I
Yeah,
tried
yeah.
several times.
And then it was the breakpoint was at
It
like.
should change. I mean,
Let's see. Let's see.
I mean no,
There you go. Yes.
The smallest one. I'm talking
The
about.
smallest one.
Yeah.
Ah,
I don't know.
okay.
It works in my phone. Sometimes it doesn't. So I try to change every time, and I see why it doesn't work.
Let's see. Let's work on this together. So how can we? Week 2.
But mine is responsive completely. If you've never seen it, you can.
Yeah, I saw it. Okay. Let's pay attention. And so the first thing that we're missing here is that on the smallest one, on the smallest screen, it's not triggering the breakpoint, right?
Yeah.
So even though we are making the screen fit, and actually I think I didn't show you this the last time, but maybe you found it on your own. Do you see this like phone icon, the toggle device? Then it behaves like a phone, right? So this is let's say it's an iPhone 6.
I did 3. I mean the mean width because I had 300 before and then.
So let's see,
changed it
yeah.
again.
So max width is 350. So what does this mean?
So
How?
350 is the max width.
So what
when you-
width falls into that?
349.
349, exactly. So anything that is below 350 will follow these styles, right? And this is bigger than, so let's update that because we want this to work for iPhone 6, whatever. So now this should work, right? And
Oh,
is,
yeah, it changed.
yeah.
I don't know.
So it was just because the breakpoint, like maybe you couldn't make your screen that small.
Yeah,
As
but
350.
You know the problem is that I will look on the media queries of iPhone 7. There are different widths.
Yeah,
I tried iPhone 7 because that's iPhone 7.
yeah.
But it doesn't work anyway.
But mine is working
Chinese
even
iPhone.
with 307 pixels on the Chrome.
Yeah, I mean, if we make it smaller, but the example that we're setting right now, this is the width of 375, and we're targeting phones.
Oh.
So we also want the iPhone 6 to look like this, right? So now this is 99%, and yeah, is it? Yeah, we can see the selector here. So
Yeah,
when the
that's
max is 375, the first child is
Another frame
99%.
step. It should be 100%.
So why does 100% not work?
Because there is a margin. If you do 100%.
No, maybe because you didn't change the second item. If it doesn't work.
No, but the first one is the only one that you have to change.
Yeah.
So it should be 100% on the full container. And the full container is not 100%.
So what could we do to, do you see, where is that border or margin?
in the
Here? No.
the CSS.
Here. Is it?
No. It was in the.
Yeah, so you can see here, this is the, I don't know. So it's the margin on each element. It's a grid item, so each of the grid items has some margin, right? So if we wanted it to take 100% on phones,
Should be 0.
we could remove that margin, right? I mean, that's an option. So we could say like, and maybe for, yeah, let's do it for the first child now. So we want to make this 100% and let's remove the margin. So now, no. Yeah, exactly. So it depends, right? But like, and if we wanted to keep that margin and still say 100%, what could we do?
Calc.
Exactly.
So we should make 0.5%.
But we don't know how much margin.
0.5%.
Yeah, because here's what the margin is, right? 0.5%.
Almost 2.
So we could say the width is calc 100% minus 1. 1%, right?
Okay.
Because we can do with calc you can do pixels, percentages, just so now it works. We can keep the margin and say to take 100% of that. And the other thing is I would like to simplify these selectors. Well, not this ones in the floats. And this is.
Can you make it bigger?
Yeah. Is that good? Yeah. So can someone remind me what was supposed to, like, what was the thing in the homework that said you need to target whatever? What needed to happen? So if you hover on the first element.
The white stuff. I mean the white one.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, because are they only different, you know? So I said probably are the more.
Right.
I don't know. I tried. I mean.
Yeah.
Something.
Did someone do this differently? How did you target this? No?
Hover. Just hover on the link.
On the link?
No, just a second, sorry. Hover on the item, grid item.
And that was for all of them?
Yes.
Yeah. So you decided.
Because
okay.
In the homework, there are take care. There are more specific that are probably better.
Right. Okay.
So I try to figure a way, you know.
Yeah, I get it now. And can you explain just how was it with Flex? Just very quickly, but better.
I'm sorry?
Can you explain like how you did it with Flex? Was it easier?
Oh, I mean, despite the reason the first time I tried to, to figure out how to, make it, smash it all together. But then, that was the how to, make it beautiful or something like that.
Yeah.
But the problem was
it is very beautiful.
Was how to, make them float perfectly together, and that was the problem.
So in the Flex box, we're still missing that the last part, right? So when it's a phone.
Yeah. I don't know.
Or
because
no.
Probably the website doesn't go less than 375.
Yeah, you're completely right. So we need to do this again. Yeah, and this is 1, and this is 1. Yeah. So I went through a couple of your homeworks, and the biggest things it seemed I think like you all got Flex very quickly. I mean, or you knew how to work with it, and for most of it, it was a matter of the clear fix, when to clear fix when you're working with floats. And for example, in this one, yeah, Badr used another technique, but if we look at the HTML, this UL is where we start to float. And we could, instead of doing that,
I target
Make
the
the
section.
target
selection,
the second
NTH.
section. Yeah, exactly. And TH child
Yeah.
2 maybe, and then have a clear fix on that. And even we could target, we could say like, to make the code a bit simpler, all of the sections add this clear both, because if you think about it, every time we create a section, we probably want to do that, right? So we could even do that like,
Section. Clear.
exactly. So in here, just like section, clear both. And
But you have to clear the second section, yes?
yeah,
It
but this
doesn't
will
matter.
target all of the sections, right?
Okay.
Because we're targeting all of the tags
I
that
got
are
it.
section.
I got it.
Yeah.
Then you will add the floats just to UL, the first UL.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I told you last class that this was a challenging homework.
You don't
And
need to write this
I'm really happy that you guys worked through it. It's really good. It was super impressive that you did it. But if you have any questions about it, I will go through them more carefully this week. I had a very long week, and I'll give you specific feedback. But if you have any questions left around that, please ask me. And if you had any questions about Git, the editor, anything, let me know, and we can, because this is the last HTML class. So after this, you'll be learning JavaScript. So these basics have to really, yeah, you need to understand them. So if something is not clear, let me know. Yeah, do you want me to do the recap? Or? Yeah. So, yeah, this is what we've been learning, positioning, flexbugs, and today we're going to talk about browser support, SVGs, and an introduction to animations, which is, I think it's a really cool part of CSS. We've talked about this before. You know it by heart now. You know that you can change it. You know that a block element takes all of the width. Inline takes only what it needs. We talked about floats. What did you like better, working with floats or with flexbox?
Flexbox is
Yeah.
easier.
Yeah, everyone does. Everyone hated floats, and that's how Flexbox was invented, because it was such a pain to work with floats.
But then you are going to design like this, you need floats. Yeah, I mean, magazine book.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was a very printed style type of property. We learned how to clear fix. Yeah, I didn't have this slide, but it was just telling like floats are not great, and we know that by now. And we talked about positioning. Can someone tell me what is position static? Raise your hand. Not all of you. Like, what is the position static? What does it do? We talked about this last time, right?
Static is the basic position for HTML.
It's
You write everything
the default one,
here.
right?
The default
Yeah.
one.
If I put a top 10 pixels on a position relative, where would that element be?
From the top.
Of the container.
Position relative.
It's moved from the parents, parents position. No?
Sorry?
It's not from
Oh.
static position.
Exactly, from where it's supposed
To be.
to be, right? But from the element itself. Position absolute is 20 pixels from
the main container.
the parent, and if the parent does not have a position relative or absolute to it, it will go to the
upper element.
The grandparent.
grandparent, which is the body, right? Always the body. If there is no position set on any of my parents, then it will go to the body. Position fixed, it will always be 20 pixels from
Position.
The body.
the viewport. Yes, from the viewport. So if I put something 20 pixels, it doesn't matter where you are, it will always be from whatever you're seeing. You'll see it all the time. And we haven't talked about sticky, to be honest, because I haven't used it that much, and I don't want to tell you lies, so we'll look it up later.
You know, for example, you put it here and then you screw.
Did you guys use the guide to Flexbox for the homework?
No, it's not.
Was it useful? The
plugin.
the guide to Flexbox, the CSS tricks link that we sent for like understanding what are the properties of the parent and the properties of the children. Yeah. So now we're gonna do very much how my day looks like. So me as a front-end developer, people come to me and say, Alicia, we want this design, and they just show me a picture, and I have to write the HTML from scratch and the CSS from scratch, right? And then talk to design and like, do you like this? And no, change this, change a little of that. But no one gives me, like, no one is helping me. Like, here's the HTML and don't touch it, or here's like.
You are not afraid the first way.
So, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you. I'm not a designer, so my designs are not amazing. So I'm just gonna give you this, and you need to write the HTML and the CSS for this outcome. And you can see like the details that are not super clear there is like I am in the home section, so that is a little bit bolder. This is exactly how working with a designer looks like. You need to really get into the nitty-gritty of like, oh yeah, that's a little bit bolder. So do that. And then this is a link, and when I hover it, there's an underline to it. But it's not there if I don't have it, if I don't have the mouse over it. And then if I go to a mobile view,
This is pro, yes?
I will not show you how I built it, because you can build it however you want to build it. I'm the designer here, I just want this to get done. And I need it today, and I need it fast. So this is how it looks on mobile, and this is black, and this is fixed. And I think, there's not enough text, but I'll make it bigger. Yeah, so this is also fixed on desktop. So yeah, that's your exercise for right now. It's individual, so you have like.
Hold on. You said what is that? It's fixed on the.
Yeah. So if I scroll, do you see like how I'm scrolling, and that it stays there? The orange one.
But it's fixed on the body.
Well, what do you think?
If I write something else down there, it come and cover the.
So let's say like it's like this. I want it to be like this. Like I'm scrolling, and that's always there.
Bad. I mean, really bad.
But I want it, and I'm the designer, so yeah, I want it. So you have like, let's say 30 minutes to, this is all I'm gonna show you, and you need to pay attention in the detail, like look at the font that I have, find a similar thing, look at the color, look at what it's bold, what it's not, and that image, just find whatever image you want.
Oh, can you make it small again? I want to be how.
Oh, right, there's another thing, if it's small, the sidebar doesn't show up.
So if possible, please open to Explorer, so to browser, so we can look how the. Okay.
Okay, so let's say 20, 25 minutes.
Hey, you're asking too much.
I'm gonna time it.
What about the images?
Just get whatever image from the internet.
You can just create in Visual Studio, just create a new index.html file, create a folder like read HTML or something like that, and then just create an index.html file.
Yeah, remember to try to use your editor as much as you can. Yeah, you need to stop using code.
No, I don't code.
No.
It's very easy.
No,
But,
no, no,
but I can use this as well.